pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the Board of Supervisors meeting, February 4th, 2025. Is there any changes to the agenda?
I have none.
Being that, we shall meet with department heads and elected officials. And before we get started here, our sheriff is not going to be here today. But he did email us and said that there is, the jail population is at 87 this morning and 14 out of county. So we're moving in a good direction. No issues with the liquor license on the agenda or anything else that's major important. So I'll give his update for him.
All right.
Now we shall go on to Saratoga, the office.
Good morning. Absentee voting for specials begin in the office on the 12th, as long as I have ballots in time. Just plugging away, getting things prepped for that, and budget stuff, and I have a new employee starting on Monday in payroll, so that's on the agenda as well.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Colin Gerst, IT.
Good morning, just keep busy like always, but nothing new for the board.
Okay.
Get phones fixed.
Rodney Blazer, maintenance.
Good morning, just business as usual, nothing new to report this morning.
Jared Laster.
I think it's just the same thing, pretty much, keep them busy as usual, but nothing to report today, so.
Chris Lee. Conservation.
Nothing exciting, I would just caution people, I know we had some good ice, but apparently there's a pretty nice warming trend, so I'd be very cautious of the ice.
Thank you. Natalie, how's the recorder's office?
Good morning. Everything's good in the recorder's office. Nothing new to share at this time.
Thank you. Chris Boy Miller, Public Health.
Good morning, we're also keeping busy. I think probably quite a few folks saw on Facebook, there was some birds on the highway last week. We did send away those birds for some sampling. The thought is that they probably got, there was like 40 or 50 of them right there on Gear Avenue as you take the off-ramp. The thought is they were probably hit by a semi. They probably came up out of the ditch, got caught into the wind, and then suffered trauma, but we did. Public Health was out there. We sent a couple of those away to the DNR to get them to do some, make sure that nothing else happened to them, but that's kind of where the thought is on that. So once I have the final report, I will let everyone know.
Somebody did post on there, that was me that did that, not me, I mean, on that page where they was going with all them birds, he said they just come up out of the ditch, and he said, and I hit them.
And I think that's what the thought is, that it was just a trauma. There was just so many of them. I think people were very worried that it was something else, but yeah, there's a pretty good thought that that's probably what happened to the birds.
Was Brian Carter close to that area when that went down? I mean,
Too much Facebook time for people.
The birds were just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I do want to thank Brian though, because he helped me get a hold of some folks to get that cleaned up. So we were able to get the birds off the highway. So because there was a lot of birds on that highway.
Krista thought we were gonna do it, and I said, I can't go down there. We get hit, we'll have all sorts of liability, but the DOT, I think, did respond
They
and
did.
helped out, so.
Yes.
So that's good there. The locals are really good to get along with on that kind of thing.
Okay, Mr. Carter, secondary roads.
Good morning. As you can tell on the agenda, lots of stuff going on, lots of bids to award. And it's gonna make for a very busy summer. And we're cranking along on the next round of projects. So plenty of stuff going on. The guys I think our two main tree cutting operations are gonna be along Tama Road and Sullivan Slough Road. So, those are along with some other stuff. We did a little bit of spot blading yesterday, kind of got a dried out day right before we were talking cold and everything, so the blades were up just a little bit yesterday. And nothing too aggressive, obviously, but other than that, we'll just keep on going and see what Wednesday's Wednesday evening's weather brings, like a chance of some ice, so we'll deal with that if it happens. I do wanna mention, we had a couple days through that warm-up where there was a lot of frost. If you got up early in the morning, one of those mornings, the roads, the gravel, the paved roads were literally white. We do not go out for frost, so we weren't out. It's very intermittent, it's hit or miss, there's no way to truly forecast it. So, it's just, I thought I'd mention that, cause you don't see it every single winter, but that particular morning was one of the heaviest frosts I've seen on pavements, and if you weren't paying attention, you could have found some slick spots. I was out on it, so that's just one of those things, so, but, otherwise, you know, we're moving along and we'll deal with whatever ice, if we get any ice, whatever comes along.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Carter.
Yep.
Moving on, correspondence.
I am.
Okay, we do have one here from the Dewey Meyer Trust. Do you wanna give Bob's spiel on that?
When Dewey Meyer passed away, part of his will was, some money was set aside, and the income on that money went to lower the county tax levy. Bob Beckwood here, he said that it was Dewey's intent that it would lower the rural services levy, but it's used to lower the general basic levy. And I think it probably lowers the levy by about 3 cents, maybe 3.5 cents. It depends on the year. So, but yeah, I would be remiss if I didn't echo Bob's words. I heard so many times.
Yes, we have. The total market value right now is $2,244,775.46.
Thanks, Dewey.
We put this received on this, or?
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to accounts payable claims in the amount of $1,674,000, $471.51.
Motion to approve. Second.
Sarah?
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Tom Rucker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes. Now we do have payroll reimbursement claims in the amount of $459.97 and non-cashable, nothing.
Motion to approve. Second.
Sarah Doty?
Tom Rucker,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes. Sorry about that, I got two of them for you. Now we have the liquor license renewal for the River Mart, and earlier the sheriff said there wasn't anything wrong with it, he's already looked at it, so what's your wishes?
Motion to approve. Second.
Sarah Doty?
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Tom Rucker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes. Now we have the approval of tentative agreement with the CWA bargaining unit, deputy sheriff, and correctional officers. Okay.
Make a motion to approve the, you want me to go through the agreement a little bit?
Yeah, you can. Right.
Anyway, so the sheriff's unit, we agreed on wages with an increase of 5% the first year, 3% the second year, and 3% the third year, 533. They added a 96-month step increase, 8-year step increase. And the correctional officers get 3%, 3% this year, and 3% for each of the following 2 years.
I move to approve.
Second.
Sarah Doty?
Shane Campbell,
Yes.
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes. Now we have approval of the tentative agreement with CWA bargaining unit, clerical and custodial.
I'll go through the same thing.
Oh, okay.
The clerical unit got 5% this year, 3%, 3%. And the custodial maintenance unit got 8%, 3%, 3%. And the language remains the same, excuse me, I didn't.
Oh, go ahead, Thomas.
No, and the language remains the same.
For all of them?
I don't think there were any changes that amounted to anything in the sheriff's contract. I'd have to look at it, but nothing that,
You should have this memorized, Tom.
we talked about it quite a bit.
This is showing up.
And the sheriff's clerical, the union asked us to move the sheriff's clerical unit into the sheriff's bargaining unit, and then, and the current clerical and custodial and maintenance remains the same, membership. And so there was some, language added to the, sheriff's contract that, so that the, clerical workers that were moved into the sheriff's bargaining unit retain the same language, clerical language, as they had before.
You guys satisfied? I
So
move
the-
to,
I can't believe you asked a newspaper person that question.
So the sheriff's clerical is, they do not qualify for the 96-month step increase?
They do.
That's the same as the
They do,
CWA?
they do. That the deputies got, yes, they get the 96%, 96 month.
you satisfied, Natalie? Wrong question. I move to approve.
Second.
Sarah Doty?
Shane McCampbell,
Yes, please.
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes. Okay, moving on. Approval of contract, FR 14 North Gear Bridge and P&G -27 Danville Road Bridge. So,
We've been discussing these projects for a long time. I'll just do a very quick summary on, the first one here that you've got is basically a contract that encompasses the bridge deck replacement on two different bridges. One is on North Gear, which is desperately needed done for a long while, and, to give a quick idea, that bridge individually, was a little over 1.1 million. And then the other bridge on Danville Road, completely different bridge, but same kind of thing. We're gonna take the deck off, do some repairs and put a new deck on. So everything underneath both bridges stays the same. It's in good enough condition, just built back on top. And that bridge was just shy of 1.15 million. So the total of the contract, which was in the documents, I'm sure you have, is $2,254,835.95. I would mention we had, I don't know if I have that with me, we had two bidders on these, which we were pleased with. Kramer was the low bidder, and we've not worked with Kramer, but I have heard good things about them. But Kramer was the low bidder, and there was less than 20, almost, right around $18,000 difference between both bidders, which on a $2.2 million job is pretty darn close. So they did come in over our estimates that our consultant put together, but we knew we didn't have a real tight rein on what these would cost because bridge deck projects tend to be a little more labor intensive because of course you don't get to just destroy everything. You gotta take the deck off, but you gotta keep the beams, which means you gotta be a little more gentle. And so there's a little more, and the North Gear Bridge is a little more complicated because that bridge has been widened also in its life. So it already had been worked on, but either way, I would recommend approval on both of these. I do not have scheduling or timing or anything else on these. I will say, we did open up the opportunity for winter work for this winter on the North Gear Bridge. So once we have contracts approved, I'll reach out to the contractor and get an idea of their scheduling and timing and all that sort of stuff. Our goal on Danville Road was to try to, at the latest, try to have that bridge done by October to try to avoid most of harvest. But we'll see how all this goes, and when I know more on timing, I'll certainly come here and get it out there so that it can get into the newspaper for everybody to see.
What was their actual bid then?
What was the actual bid for?
'Cause you said it was like 2.28 for your estimate, or that was the actual bid?
No, the actual bid was 2,254,835.95, which I think was in the packet, but if you don't have that number, I'm happy to run you a copy, so you don't have to write it all down.
Just an estimate.
The estimate it came in like 11% over our estimate, something like that, roughly 11% total. So,
Thank you.
I move to approve contract for FR 14 North Gear Bridge and PG 27 Danville Road Bridge.
Second.
Sarah Doty?
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Thank
You want this stamp?
you can do what you wish, so I'll mention this goes for the next three, they're all federal aid, they're all going through the DOT. So you do what you wish on that, cause these are the ones that Becky will actually jump in, so that'll give you a paper document, but it won't matter, cause Becky will get in and do the computer side of everything.
Okay.
So I would just stamp the front of it and then sign the back page, so we have the original copy here.
And that's fine. I used to have to harass the board about not doing anything because
And
the
now it's all
federal
done.
documents, well, now it's all electronic, so you can draw pictures and smiley faces and everything else.
You still harass the board.
Well,
by not
yes,
doing anything.
but just about other stuff, absolutely. Keeps you on your toes.
You, don't need that signed, my signature is already
Yeah,
filed.
it's taken care of and Becky will handle it once this is done. So this gives us the board minutes give us the legal documentation, if the board approved everything, and then the electronic side of it gets done, so.
Okay, now we're gonna approve the contract, Moines County Highway 99 HMA resurfacing, STPS, CO 29, 97 5E-29.
Yeah, sorry about the project number, but we don't have any control over that either. This is, an asphalt overlay, basically a mill and fill is what we would call it. But it's got a substantial amount of patching with it, concrete patching with it, so a lot of the places on 99 that are rough, and there's obviously quite a few of them, that's where the old concrete's coming all the way up through, so I think we're doing like 80 or 90 patches ahead of this whole thing, same as part of this project. Yeah, in the end, this project has federal aid funds and farm to market funds in it. The final bid, we only had one bidder, which is to be expected on asphalt in our area. Final bid was $4,614,489.46, and same thing, if you don't have that from somewhere else, I'll happy to run a copy rather than trying to write all that down. You're gonna hear the theme of this. This came in about 116% over my estimate. Did quite a bit of research on it. Any engineer would prefer everything come in under his estimate, but unfortunately, that's not the way it works, especially in the last couple of years. And in this case, to be honest with you, when I put my estimate together, we used a range of prices and looked at them and tried to come up with what would this be a competitive price, and that range of prices has just changed. This, in construction right now, things are up again. So the prices on our contract, I think, for the most part, are reasonable construction cost prices. So I would advise to approve this, and the road badly needs it. I don't think anybody's gonna argue that up there. I think everybody's looking forward to it. So we'll move forward with this project and move on.
You have a time frame on that one?
No, I don't have a time frame on any of these. I'm technically not allowed to talk to contractors until we approve contracts, and so, and most contractors in February aren't gonna be able to tell you what they're gonna do anyway, so I just don't. Summertime would be the answer to that, and try to be out of there before harvest again, although this one's a little bit looser on that.
Would you give me that total
Brian.
again? I missed it.
Brian, what's the name of the contractor? Did I-
Norris.
did I-
$4,614,000, $489.46.
Motion to approve the Highway 99 resurfacing.
Second.
Norris
Norris.
Asphalt, did you hear me there?
Tom Roker,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Norris. Oh, Norris, okay.
Norris.
I know, yeah, just curious.
Here's the price of the total of that bridge contract. Well, you can round that up. What happened? 2,200,000.
Now we're working on the approval of the Moines County Highway 34, the HMMA resurfacing, FM, CO 29, Prince 97-55-29.
Same song, different dance, I don't know, different verse, something like that. This is basically a mill and fill. It's a little less invasive than the Highway 99 project. We intentionally scaled this project back just a little bit from where we wanted, simply because of financing. So this is strictly a farm to market job. No federal aid funds in it, so it's the reason we did not bid them together also. We didn't want to federalize the entire thing. Yeah, I'll just, 2.8 million is the bid on this. One bidder again, Norris. So, it was about 114, almost 115% over, so you're gonna see the consistency. They're both asphalt jobs. Yeah, I'm gonna recommend approval on this too, and it will also get done this summer, and I do not have a solid time frame on that either.
Doesn't part of that go through Danville?
I'll mention, actually, it's a great point. So on the 99 one, I'm gonna back up. On 99, we do have an agreement with Burlington to do they're gonna cost share and do a small part of the very south end of that down by Pond Street. They approached us at the very tail end of the overall cycle. I give Devin a ton of credit because he scrambled really hard at the end to get that segment put into the plans. Might have even cost us a month, I can't remember as far as the bid letting, but, and then same question with Danville. This road runs through Danville, and Danville wanted to do theirs, so we worked out not a deal with Danville, but we are gonna do the Danville portion. They will reimburse us for their expenses, like Burlington will reimburse for their expenses. I have contacted both entities, let them know it was a little higher than our estimate. They were both understood that and fine with that, and we have agreements with both, and we're gonna move forward. So, yeah, I would recommend approval of this project also.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Sardotti?
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Tom Roker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes. Now we got the approval of the contract, HMFA resurfacing with milling on Tamer Road, 198th Street and Southbury Road.
Okay, last but most certainly not least, we had 3 projects we've been looking at for quite a while. We went ahead and bid them. They're kind of all asphalt jobs. They're smaller, if you're talking about compared to 20-some miles when you figure 99 and Highway 34. So, there's this kind of a 3-phase project. This is all local funds on this one. First division is, 7 Ponds Road, and that's really just a mill and fill. That's just, get the surface back up to a better condition. Tama Road, that is a full depth project. It's a short project. It's, I don't know if it's a half mile, it's probably closer to a quarter mile. But that's, when we used that road as a detour, we knew that we might do some damage, and that was kind of the worst segment, I would call it, that kind of started to fall apart. So, we're gonna just take that completely out and put in basically a new short, piece of asphalt roadway there for an area that's fallen apart. And then the third division is South Prairie Grove, and it's just, honestly, the road's not in terrible shape, but we're gonna have an asphalt contractor on Old 34 right there. It just didn't make sense to blow through there and not try to at least spruce that road up a little bit, so, and that's a basic mill and fill also. Basically mill off the top, I wanna say 1.5 inches, put 2 inches of asphalt down, and that'll be that project, so. All told, they're $9,979,663.47. Came in about 117% of my estimate. Again, that's the theme. It's a painful theme, but it is the theme. So there's, of all the numbers there, there's the total for that project. And I would recommend approval of that also. And that is, that's just a local contract. You can stamp it, sign it, whatever, but that's an actual contract, unlike the rest of these that are all electronic.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Sarah Doty?
Tom Broker?
Yes.
Shane McCampbell?
Yes.
Jim Carrey?
Yes.
So probably the biggest takeaway at the moment is for anybody that uses these roads or lives on these roads, you're gonna have some headaches coming this way. Now, on most asphalt jobs, on these included, in all this stuff, the only closure there will be is on Tama Road. And I think off the top of my head, there's only one house that directly uses that corridor, so we'll communicate with them and try to do our best to minimize their pain and suffering. The rest of these, it'll mostly be one lane, closures, which will generate frustration. I actually think we get more frustration from people on one lane closure than we do on full closure, but they won't be fully closed, so.
This might be a good time to publicize your personal private cell phone number.
Yes. Yes, most people somehow track me down either way. So when we know more on timeframes, anybody's welcome to call and ask, and as we do with any project, anybody that wants regular updates, cause it impacts their daily commute, their whatever, some delivery, all they gotta do is call our office, give us their name and contact information, whether it be email or cell phone or whatever they wanna use, and we will literally make daily calls if it makes their life better, or daily emails to give them updates if it would help. Most of these folks, once you get the project started, they're gonna get a feel for it. They all know it needs to be done. Everybody's looking forward to it. So anyway, but we'll get more information as far as timing once we know more.
I have a question.
Yep.
So how much of this is potentially affected by federal freeze on grants and loans? I know that
It
there's
would
been a stay on
massively
that,
be
but
affected if he goes ahead and reinstates the freeze.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's 1.6 million in the Highway 99 project. So that would probably lock that project down. There's more farm to market than there is federal aid. And then the 2 bridges are also federal aid. So, yeah, if those funds were frozen, it would absolutely pause these projects. There's a pool of money that money comes from. There's a balance at the state level. We don't manage that money on the local level. So it wouldn't necessarily, like, if that freezes, I think, for like 2 weeks, I don't think that necessarily shuts down construction. If it freezes for 2 months, it's a much bigger deal. So right now, everything's back open.
right.
But
now.
I've already seen emails from the first freeze came in about, hey, we don't know how this is gonna change things, beware, blah, blah, blah. And I've seen this before. This is not the first time in construction when federal funds have been frozen. They also freeze when they had a budget impasse and they shut down the federal government. So, as you probably know better than most from having been around them at your previous jobs, so right now we're good to go, but yes, if that comes along, it's something that will have an impact. I don't believe on the ones that are all farm to market, and the good thing is the two biggies, the two asphalt jobs have a lot of farm to market. So I'm assuming we would be able to keep functioning for maybe longer than some others because of a different funding source there to help with, but exactly how that all will tie together, hopefully we don't have to deal with it, but it's a possibility.
Thank you.
Hey, Brian, you know I live off of 99.
Yep.
Are you determined, or you probably don't even know, will you start in the south end or north end, or you don't even know?
I honestly don't know. I mean, the very first thing anybody's gonna see is the patching, and
Right,
almost all the
right.
patching is
Sure.
towards, is north of you.
Oh.
Not quite all, but most of it.
Up towards Strawberry Point Road,
So,
that way? There's some
Yeah,
real
well,
bad
this
ones.
runs all the way to Meekers, I
yeah.
mean, all the way up to where the concrete starts,
Yeah.
but.
I didn't know which end you were gonna start on.
I honestly don't know.
Figured you did.
Time will tell.
Okay, moving on here to personnel action. I have one here for the auditor's office. Danielle McLaughlin, a new hire. It says here that job title is gonna be what, payroll? And the salary is gonna be $48,202.56.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Sarah Doty?
Shane Campbell,
Yes.
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes.
Glad we got somebody in there.
Yeah, we look forward to her starting and getting her trained and
I've got two of them for the correctional center. The first one is, we'll do these together, Angela Dunham, correctional officer. Leave, FMLA, unpaid hours, 48.55. And the second one is for Peyton Krogermeyer, part-time correctional officer, leave of absence, military, 49.50 hours, casual time 24.75, and unpaid 2.86 hours.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Sarah?
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes. Now we have the treasurer's report for cash on hand, December 31st, and the treasurer's semi-annual report, December 31st, 2024. These will be in the auditor's office for reviewing at your own discretion. Receive these. How many papers there, sir?
That's Janelle's fault, not mine.
Okay. And we have the minutes for the regular meeting on January 28th, 2025.
Motion to approve minutes?
Second.
Sarah?
Shane McCampbell,
Yes.
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes. Now we have the Kansas Two Rivers levy and drainage district election. Okay. closed. Please find the ballots for the Burlington North Quadrant Levy Drainage District election, which was held on January 29, 2025. Roger Linder was elected for a 3-year term, commencing on January 29, 2025, and sending the original 2 ballots for canvass. So, there we go.
It's a landslide.
Landslide. Wow. So,
Motion to approve the Two Rivers Levy and Drainage District election.
Second.
okay. Sarah Doty.
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Shane Campbell,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes.
Landslide.
Landslide. Is there any other business?
I have none.
I think, did you mention, or somebody mentioned, next week, the compensation?
Yes,
The
we were-
compensation board for next week. I guess what, as I'd say is, some of the elected officials have already reached out to us with the information we wanted to, what they wanted us to consider, but not all of them. So if, any elected officials have not, you might want to send out an email.
Okay, I
Have
can do
not
that.
forwarded the information to us so that we have it for next week.
And has Luke got back with you?
No, I haven't heard anything. They've called me and asked me about numbers on certain things, but I haven't, nothing about.
I have not heard.
You haven't heard?
I have not heard.
Committee reports.
I have none.
I had none.
I had none.
Okay, public input. We'll give the public 2 minutes to speak. If you're online, call 319-753-8203, extension 4. That's 319-753-8203, extension 4. Or you can email board@dmcounty.com. That's board@dmcounty.com. So we shall give you 2 minutes. Anybody here have anything to say?
I see you smiling, Rodney. Just want to mention, Brian said you could call him. He did, I will have to give him it's been a little while back, but somebody cornered me in the parking lot at Aldi's and had some questions about some road construction. So I got Brian on the phone, and he explained it to that gentleman's satisfaction, so I don't know whether I ever thank you for that or not.
I would rather people call and ask questions. I mean, they can call and ask anything, and we would rather answer it than just have rumors, because those typically aren't accurate. So we encourage people to get in touch with us if they have any questions at all. Shane has passed people on quite a few times.
My banker wants to know about Highway 99, so,
Okay, like timing?
yeah.
Well, I don't know.
As soon as you know something. I said, probably not gonna get an answer. I said, but
wouldn't-
as soon as I know something, so.
It will not sneak up and bite people because, first of all, the asphalt itself, because they'll be patching, which has to be done before the asphalt. But we'll also have to know, so we'll know in advance. How far in advance, time will tell, but.
We'll say congratulations to Trace again for your, new position in the
Oh,
world.
I saw that, congratulations.
Moving up in the world.
Big dog.
And giving a shout out to Lisa Harris too. She retired, she had her going away party last week. They had cupcakes and all kinds of good little treats and whatnot.
It looks like the 2 minutes are up. So, we shall, with the maintenance director, Rodney Gleason, do you want your, evaluation in closed session?
Yes.
And, we shall go on in closed session now.
Motion, I move to go into closed session.
Second?
Sarah?
Shane Campbell,
Yes.
Tom Brinker.
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes.
I'm sorry, mind your way.
No, you're fine. I'm just older, too slow.
Ah, that's all right. I was walking very much, I was like, "Oh, shoot."